And we're here at the CCA Workbench for Rigs and Techniques, the last one of the year. And I got Jimbo Thomas from the Thomas Flyer in here telling us, talk a little bit about amberjacks. You know, they are a pounder. You know, they really torture people. Everybody's been saying, people call them the reef donkey and all that other stuff. They just don't give up.
No, they don't. They've been called a lot of other things as well.
Nasty names.
So, you know, on a charter boat, amberjacks have been a staple down here in the South Florida area.
They're a good savior for the day.
And they're not guaranteed by any means.
That's true.
Just like any fish.
Yeah.
But there are a couple tricks to catching them, or that'll help catch more.
Now, you're mainly targeting these fish on reefs. How deep are you looking?
I like to fish on deep water wrecks, anywhere from about 150 feet on out. We have spots to 400 feet that we catch them on. So don't be afraid to go too deep.
Yeah, especially if you got long arms.
And somebody with big arms to reel it in.
That's what I'm talking about.
So when you're dropping down in that depth, you want to use a big reel because the retrieve on that reel is going to be greater than on a smaller reel.
You get more per turn.
You can even go with an 8-0. You know, this is a 6-0.
Right.
You can go with a big reel, and you're going to get more line per crank.
I always like to go to as big as where I'm not fighting the reel versus the fish. So
you're going to go with an electric reel?
If I can.
Okay.
Especially if I'm fishing for amberjacks.
You can put a pin fathom and electric down there.
That's right.
So
when's the best time to target them, you think?
March, April, and May are probably
Springtime.
The best months. April, though, they're closed. For spawning, which is a good thing.
Right.
But we just had a fairly decent run of them the last couple weeks, well, a week ago, around the full moon. So around the full moons, we see an uptick in bites. They're schooling up on these wrecks to spawn. Okay.
Now, when you're looking for them, are these fish usually stuck down to the bottom? Are they in mid-water level?
So they're usually going to be above the wreck, mid-level. And a lot of times you'll mark some bait, and they'll be around that bait. You'll see bigger marks around the bait. Sometimes, depending on how the Gulf Stream's running, if the current's moving strong, they might be behind the wreck. Sometimes they might be in front of the structure. So you just have to form your drift, get over, see where you get your bites, see where you mark them, and then try to pinpoint them after that.
Now, what's your first order of business when you're trying to catch? What's your favorite weapon of attack here?
So I like to use a live bait.
Yeah.
You can use jigs, butterfly jigs, deep jigs, speed jigs. Those will all work. A live bait is hard to beat for any kind of fishing.
Right.
A big bait is going to work the best. A big pinfish, a live blue runner, a speedo, small bonitas we use, which work spectacular if you can keep them alive. The rig we like to use, it's a drop rig, we call it.
A big three-way rig.
Three-way swivel, weight on the bottom, just enough to get down there. This is not going to be enough more days than not.
What do you think, like a 5 or 6 ounce usually? Or?
Sometimes we go to 2 pounds.
Oh, boy.
But if the Gulf Stream's ripping, you know, that's what you need.
All right.
And then we're going to use a long leader. Everybody's been talking about a long leader. This is not a long leader. This is just for demonstration.
Right.
So we'll use 20, 30 feet of leader. You can go 50 feet if you want.
Kind of like your mutton fishing.
Basically. So this is just a drop rig. You can catch a grouper on it. A mutton, a cobia. It's generic, but it works great for amberjack.
Right, and a big
circle hook, whatever size circle hook you need to match your bait size. Drop it down there. One trick, hook your bait on through the lips. You want to get it so it's not going to spin on the way down.
So all the way to the front of his mouth.
Right, if it's spinning, you're going to just have a bird's nest on your leader. Hook them through the lips or through the nose. Toss your bait out. Let your leader get taut before you drop it. If it's slack, you're likely to get tangled up on the way down.
He can wrap around the main line.
Correct.
But if you let him swim first.
And you even keep the boat moving forward a little bit, possibly. Drop down, hit bottom, come up enough cranks so you're going to clear the structure. But if you're marking fish 50 feet above it, come up what you think is 50 feet off the bottom, try to suspend your bait there.
Right. Now, if you're going to be using a jig, same sort of thing. Drop it all the way to the bottom.
Hit bottom, come up through the column where you think they're at. It's hard to tell if they're down 200 feet, what you think is 200 feet. Drop down again if you don't get a bite. Keep doing it. You know, come up through the fish, drop down again. Typically, if there's amberjacks on any of these wrecks or structure, they're going to bite right away.
Right.
So if you drift over a wreck 2 or 3 times, you don't get a bite,
Move on.
move on. Go
All
look
right.
for another spot.
I got you. Giddy. Well, thanks, man. That was great.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you got us all dialed in on the amberjack.
You get to wind them in.
No. I take pictures.
You take pictures,
You
or
know
you
what?
grab your electric reel.
Bree,
Yes. Yes.
They did pretty good for 2 old dudes.
2 bruisers over there. Let me tell you. All right.